strategic readers suggested was the ripple effect activity, which I thought was a really neat object lesson that would tie in well to read alouds, which I'm focusing a lot on this year, and just as I develop my thinking on how to do those more effectively. The purpose of the ripple effect activity is to activate thinking and schema that students have based on questions that you might throw out. This is for students in the emergent level of reading. It can be used with English language learners, and it incorporates multiple intelligences by incorporating visual, verbal, kinesthetic, naturalistic, and interpersonal intelligences. Materials that you need are a story or a text, a small inflatable pool, or you can use a fish bowl or even just a basic bowl or a pan, colored pebbles or rocks, maybe even marbles, colored construction paper, preferably blue, or butcher paper, and a marker. For the procedure, you are going to select a text or a theme or a concept that you want to introduce to students, and you're going to bring in the inflatable pool or pond or bucket, whatever you've chosen to use, and hold a few small pebbles in your hand and drop them slowly into the water. And as you do this, you want to point out to students that the pebble enters the water at one specific point, and then a small circle is formed around the place where the pebble is dropped into the water, and then small waves or ripples kind of expand and go out, spread out from the place where the pebble enters. You may also want to point out that the pebble entering the water has an effect on other people and other things, because dropping a pebble into the water might startle someone. It might get someone wet nearby. The pebble could hit another pebble that's already in the bowl, or it could hit a fish if you had fish in there, which would be really neat for students to see. But you want to connect this object lesson to thinking that happens while you're doing a read aloud or while students are reading, that the pebble represents the question that you toss out there, and the circle around where the pebble enters the water and the waves represent thinking and schema that comes forward that the students may verbalize or offer as feedback. And then the pebbles interference with either other pebbles in the water or startling somebody nearby represents when students are offering feedback and you're asking questions based on what they give. Other students hear things, and it may activate knowledge that they have or cause them to think about something that they hadn't thought about. So one way that you could extend this and maybe motivate and engage students a little bit more is to do this in a hands-on way for your class. So this is when you would use the blue construction or butcher paper, and you would title it your class pond, and then you would put the theme or concept for the story on there as well, and you would draw a circle for the pebble, and inside that you would write the question that you throw out. And then as students offer feedback or maybe schemas initiated or discussed, that you could draw little waves to represent what the students are saying, and then maybe what causes another student to think of something. So you can really illustrate this. You can display it on the wall, and you can continue to add to it as if you're reading a novel and you or a longer story if it's more than one day that you're reading through it. But I just thought this was a really fun activity for students to really understand how their thinking works.